bitch. Bitch.
Beach.
Bitch.
Unbelievable.
That's
Sir? Sir, are you listening to me, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Sir.
huh?
Hello, we are looking for the nuclear vessels in Alameda. Could you tell me where?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, me!
There's a grenade, Ree. Oh god, there's two of you. Piston. This is Meow. My cock's so beautiful. Come on, I'll save you, Nugget. Stop, I want fried chicken. Stop.
Congrats.
Yes.
Let's go, boys.
Hell yeah!
Hate technology!
Hello. Hello. I see we're behaving. Not really, but hello. Oh yeah, I reset the bot. Oh my gosh, I reset the bot, so it's gonna go off again. Oh hello. Hello. How are we? How is everybody? Hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the IRL streaming this weekend. Enjoying the jams with us and seeing my coworkers. Why you gotta bring that up? Because I haven't changed scenes yet. I'm letting chat, especially Blue and Grim, get everything out. Let it all out. Let it all out. It's fine. Yeah, exactly. I agree. 100%. 100%.
That's
Oh my god. Thank you.
Freedom, he says. The decision is in my hands, he says. Where's my freaking butt slider then?
Hey,
The
hey,
decision.
hey.
Hi guys. Hello. I am here. Look what I got. Hold on. It's hard. It's hard. I got a new tattoo. I got me a new tattoo. I post.
unbelievable.
I know. I posted in the Discord. Oh, Chris's stuff didn't go off. Tattoo. I got a new tattoo.
Execute Order 66.
Hold on, his stuff didn't go off. Let me give you back the points. Reject. Ew. Pikachu didn't go off either. Reject. Take your damn points back. Oh. Oh. Anyways. Today's game. Today's game. Has a really good soundtrack. We're playing Killing Floor 3 today. I saw. I saw you did things while I was IRL streaming, Chris. I seen it. Also, thank you for the 100 bits earlier. And the watch streak. I saw you gift out like what, 2 or 3 more year subs? Right? 1, 2, 3. and bits. 5, 4, 5, 4. A lot? Too many? Don't you have an apartment to pay for? What are you doing? Didn't you just move?
Sir? Sir, are you listening to me, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Sir.
Yeah, it's the new Killing Floor Killing Floor 3 season 4, I believe. Oh, I thought Ellie was here for a second. There's a new perk, new operation, new gadgets, new grenade, new weapon mods, new map, new bosses, new everything. There's new news. There's new things and news things and new things.
This is why we can't have nice things.
All the new stuff. So thanks to Tripwire Interactive and Keymailer for this code to play this. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Wow. Why are we rioting? Why the riots? Why? I know, there's so many noises going off. So many noises. Anyways. Let's get to playing. How's the sound levels, by the way? Is the game a little loud? It's such a good soundtrack, though. Sounds good. Sounds good. We're compiling more shaders. So it's gonna do some stuffs because we're compiling shaders. I thought I compiled enough shaders. It's almost done. It's almost done. I promise it's almost done.
Specialist, let's return to the Varma building. We need a lead on our Dr. Moorcroft.
Ooh, we are still... Are we good? We back to normal now? We're good. I did! I opened the game. There was like 7,000 shaders compiling. So I went to go do something else for a while. And came back as soon as I was getting ready to start stream. It was still at like 400. All right, Season 4 Operation Shadowhunter. New difficulty, weekly and wave mutation, new weekly and wave mutations, a new perk Gunslinger, new primaries, sidearms, throwables, gadgets and skills, new boss, a Moorcroft, and the new map Oil Rig. New assignment campaign and free rewards, new premium supply pass, and item shop cosmetics. Oh, this is not the settings that I want. Oh my gosh. You can't be doing that to me as a retail worker. You cannot be doing that to me. Where is controls? Oh, that's still too much. That's a little bit better. Chris, thank you for the biddies again as well. Okay, travel to offices using mission control at Stronghold. These are my skills. The skills menu lets you customize your perk skills. Earn experience by performing in-game actions to level up and unlock new skill tiers. You can equip one skill from each unlocked tier. I had never heard that one before. They have so many new stickers. Chris, thank you for the 100 bits. You psycho. Chris, thank you for the 100 biddies. I appreciate it. This is where... Oh my goodness. Iron Nest. Oh, yeah. I think I've heard of that one. Okay, we gotta go to the Stronghold. Just checking stuff out right now. Is that my ship? Wow. Mission control. Okay, mission control. The mission control menu lets you choose a map and select difficulty or take the weekly mutation challenge. Some maps may feature a mission assignment or indicated by an exclamation mark mission icon. So like here. Ooh, our customization stuff. Okay. Each perks. Each perk has a unique gadget, throwable skill set, and Z time bonus. In the perk menu, you can select your perk, customize your character's appearance, and select their skills. Gotta kind of let them render in. Purple. Purple. Player card. Oh, it's actually really cool looking. Okay. Perks. Commando, armed with assault style weapon, this well-rounded warrior adapts to any combat situation with lethal effectiveness. Helion, an autonomous flying drone that targets enemies with acidic projectiles. And the HE grenade, a conventional military grade grenade with a short timer. See, I probably want to go fire. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, Firebug. Equipped with a wide range of incendiary devices, this pyro expert secures strategic points with a wall of fire that few dare cross. Wildfire is their gadget. Backworn thermal energy device that releases an explosive ring of fire, and the Molotov cocktail. We all know what that is. Engineer, harnessing a blend of innovation and technical know-how, the engineer controls crowds at close range with a devastating arsenal. Sonic Storm, an augmented power suit with 2 turrets that obliterate enemies with sonic project. That sounds fun. They get a Bouncing Betty, a trigger-pressured mine that detonates to create a lethal circle of shrapnel. Sharpshooter, with a steady hand and unerring aim. This persistent sniper aids their allies with well-placed shots from afar. Death's Hand, a launcher that fires a homing arrow that seeks and eliminates enemies. Oh, they have a cryo grenade too. Super cooled liquid helium grenade that freezes enemies in their tracks. Oh, ninja. Oh, that sword's really cool looking too. Trained in unconventional ancient tactics, this blade-wielding assassin thins enemy hordes with speed and precision. They have a grappling hook that allows the ninja to pull themselves towards the enemies to deal devastating damage. And caltrop canister, a throwable container that bursts outward with multiple electrifying caltrops. Medic would probably be the other one that I would play. I like playing supports, and Gunslinger's a new one. So for Medic, always on the cutting edge of battlefield medicine, the Medic bolsters team resilience with a variety of experimental healing technology. Sanctum, a barrier projector that heals all allies and damages all enemies within its radius. Biotic grenade, a gas grenade whose biotic cloud fortifies friends and debilitates foes. And then Gunslinger. Ooh, they're dual wielding, yeah. Armed with an arsenal of pistols and revolvers, this quick drawing weapon expert delivers precision firepower at blistering speed. Fatal Focus, dual wielded smart guns that, when aimed at enemy weak points, fire homing projectiles at the targeted location. And then Gravity Grenade, grenade that implodes on detonation, pulling nearby Zeds to its center before exploding with concussive force. So we're gonna do that one. An Armory Material Exchange. Material Exchange allows you to transform one material type into another. Keep in mind that higher tier materials require a greater material cost. Oh, look at how pretty those are. You can dual wield deagles? Oh my gosh. Assignments. The assignments menu lets you view and pin current assignments. Completing assignments will earns you rewards like supply, pass XP, perk XP, and cosmetic player cards. Check back regularly for new daily or weekly assignments, or try mission assignments for narrative content.
Specialist, let's return to the Varma building. We need a lead on our Dr. Moorcroft.
New assignment. Check out the assignments menu to begin the latest campaign. I wanted to try training because I haven't played this yet. Okay, a Nightfall Supply Pass. The Supply Pass lets you earn cosmetic rewards to customize your perk, weapons, and player card. Earn Supply Pass points by completing assignments. Use these points to claim rewards on each page, and unlock the final page reward by claiming 4 rewards on that page. Claim rewards from earlier pages to unlock new ones. I'm wondering... Give me one moment. Okay. Okay. And ads are starting right now, so we will do the training missions right now. Actually,
Nightfall. Hargis Army depots reported unsettling movements. We've reason to believe it's not just another military mishap. Tread carefully, investigate thoroughly, and return with answers.
An oil rig's the new one. Yep, let's go.
Hop on, team. Flying out.
Compiling shaders. It's a good thing ads are going. I'm gonna refill my water. Come on. Come here. Follow me in here. Look at this little old lady. Little old lady. Little old lady. Okay. The ready menu allows you to change your perk, select your weapon and tool loadout before the match begins. Your loadout is limited by your operational budget, which can be increased by leveling up your perk, enabling you to start with more powerful modern weapons. This is our first time. So we cannot upgrade anything yet. I don't know yet. I just started. This is our first mission.
Somewhere, amidst the twisted wreckage of that supply train, is a Horsian audio log. Would you kindly find it?
Oh, that was cool as hell.
Oops. Good, right.
Oh, it's that guy up there. Jesus.
Pod's open. Let's
heal
get
up.
to it.
What up, Mole? Is there stuff to open up at all, or? It's worth it, yeah. Oh, this is where we can upgrade. Okay, this is where we can upgrade stuff. I would like armor, please. Ooh, we can upgrade these. Oh, armor piercing or sonic tracing? Accuracy goes down. That's penetrating power. These guys.
Pod is closed.
That you find that audio log. It should be somewhere nearby.
PC. Could zoom in. Oh, I missed all those shots. Holy crap, that was a bad shot. Yeah, I'm playing on PC.
Make sure your ammo reserves are full.
I want to trade this out. Let's see. Syringe bag, multi-tool. Unlocks places. Shock trap, explosive trap, pulse lures. That's tempting to get that. Okay, we're just gonna go. There's the multi-tool. Maybe I should have grabbed the multi-tool.
Parentheses, explosion. No encores.
They're still just coming from here. Oh, what are you? Woo! No, thank you. Oh, hello. I need to reload. Oh, heal up. Jeez.
You've got a little break. Go shopping. Come on.
Hey lady, how you doing? I passed what I needed.
This is Dr. Pamela Medford. I arrived too late. My R&D Red colleagues crashed the train. The site is already too contaminated. I need to leave now. It may never be safe here again.
Hold for further instructions, Specialist.
Let me get over here. Buy some stuff really quick.
Don't risk it. Repair that armor.
I can buy a secondary, yeah. I can buy one of these, yeah. No, not the sniper.
Mine now. Enough shopping. Pod's closed.
Right. Let's continue. Seems we have more to worry about than just Zeds.
Uh-oh.
Scour the inspection room. Where there's a pandemic, there's corpses. Okay, we have our corpses. Now, we'll need to gather some tissue samples to better understand this affliction.
Dude, these guys suck. Alright, I gotta get out of this corner.
slow, but vital.
Dead, Zed! Wait a sec while I reload!
Waves down.
Just a standard game. Fixing to go to bed. How was it? Was fun. It was fun.
Looks like we're up against a rapid spreading infection that horrifically disfigures its hosts.
See if there's anything over here. Wait, don't skip anything along the way. I don't know if this will do me any good, but
That's good.
I'm gonna upgrade my armor too. Did I miss someone down there? Did I miss something?
No more supplies. Shop's closed. I bring you a zip line.
Oh wow. Wait, there's a turret? What? Where?
Smell you later.
Bro, I don't have time to be looking at the floor the whole time.
Must be this week's special guest star.
What has happened?
This is my favorite stream on the Citadel.
What has happened?
Making it look easy.
Got him. Maybe he's stunned.
Kisses.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hey, don't fight my gimmick.
It says that there's a turret here. It keeps scaring.
Finish line's in sight.
Set it and forget it.
Of course.
Pod is open.
Chris, thank you for gifting 12 months to that asshole named Wolf. Or I shouldn't say that. That guy named oh, it doesn't matter. This game is swearing up a storm. Thank you for gifting a sub 12 months to Molv. I appreciate it. Thank you. And starting a hype train. Sir. Sir. I guess there is an autofill right there. Weakness is fire. We may want, ooh. I'm gonna go with this guy. Oh my goodness. Where is it? Oh, there it is! Oh my gosh. Oh, that was delayed.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite stream on the Citadel.
Thank you for gifting a sub to our buddy, who was that? Mr. Aloha Dukin. I missed that, did not know I got it. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh.
Fantastic job.
Is that really loud, by the way? I feel like that's loud when the weapons start going off. What are you guys doing while I'm trying to battle something? Thank you for gifting a sub to Sean. I appreciate it. We got achievements as well. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Chris, thank you again. And Miss Burning Kerosene, I appreciate it too. I appreciate you, lady. Phone-wise, volume is good. Okay. I turned it down a little bit. Go back to the stronghold. I didn't get one of the things on there. Cheese mints, yeah. Wait until you go after it versus Impaler or Alpha Scavenger, yeah. I don't doubt that there's gonna be like some ridiculous stuff.
Impressive display of neck flexibility. Now, how about a little cardio? Try dashing. Well done. Now sprint. Impressive. It appears someone's been availing themselves of the running track. Now, if you would.
That's
try
crazy.
sliding.
Oh, there is sliding. See what happens when you don't do the tutorial, guys?
Superb sliding specialist. Now, climb to higher ground.
Also, is this our favorite one-eyed sniper? Oh, you won't let me climb up there.
Splendid. As you'll discover, a heightened perspective is often essential for tactical
I might switch this out.
If you would, please proceed to the armory.
Let me swap these out. Controls, keyboard mapping. Okay. Reload's fine, syringe fine. Okay. Oh, I wonder if it's Anna's voice actor
Now, step up
or
to
actress
the firing range.
that plays her. I'm curious. It is not. She was in Baldur's Gate. Maybe that's why I hear it as well. She's in Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, and of course World of Warcraft. And Diablo.
You're there. Unholster your sidearm, would you?
Wait, I can do both at the same time.
Never underestimate the value of a well-maintained sidearm in surprise situations. Now, shoot the targets. Now, as for the firearm is evident. If those were Zeds, they'd surely be dead. Or at least gravely wounded. Now, in the interest of
It's hard to do with the Sanoderm on my arm.
please reload your
Not that I have a decent...
Excellent.
Not that I have good aim anyway.
Run out at a critical moment, would we? Now, let's get to know the features of our weapon, hey? Steady your firearm and aim down the sights. That's it. I seem to have that down. Now, dispatch the targets. Such precision. You may survive this yet. Draw your primary weapon now, specialist. Right. Let's see what else our weapon can do. Set it to single shot mode. See? Easy. Now, try hitting those targets.
See it. There we go.
Keep shooting like that, and I might need to start ordering replacement targets. In the midst of conflict, an empty magazine is Nightfall's worst enemy. That's why it's always wise to have an ammunition bag handy. Kind of throw one down, would you? Very good. That, in fact, appears to be a bag. Now, reach inside and rest some ammunition. Remember, never wait until it's too late. A bag on the ground means readiness in our ranks. Your next task is to toss a grenade at the designated targets. Splendid.
That grenade's really cool.
Be the deciding factor against a ravening horde of blood-crazed bioweapons. Now, if you be so kind, please mission control console.
Ads are gonna be starting in about 4 minutes, guys. Just a heads up.
You made it, and you didn't get too lost along the way. Well then, now's your moment, specialist. Use the console to select your first mission and begin your exciting new venture.
Reload speed, please. I have 75 points. We'll try this for now, just in case. Okay. Select a terminal, or select a... Jesus, go to the mission terminal and select a mission. Oh.
Nightfall. Hargis Army depots reported unsettling movements. We've reason to believe it's not just another military mishap. Tread carefully, investigate thoroughly, and return with answers.
Try this again.
All right, let's go. All hands to the VTOL.
I'm on solo. I'm on solo. Un momento. Okay. I am liking this. Just gonna ready up. Yeah, that's why I figured for my first time playing it, I'm not gonna do
Now, we'll need to gather some tissue samples to better understand this affliction.
I'm not gonna do randoms. Oh, that's why I forgot to change out with the tool.
Shit, yes!
That was pretty funny. Oh, hello.
That was grossly satisfying. Like a pimple popping video.
Oh, is this gonna explode? Oh, what's hitting me with? What are you doing?
Reloading.
Ew.
Really close. 5 left. Ground might be a little slippery, guys.
That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I can't really go that way. We'll go along this way. It was so good. Can somebody clip that too? That was so satisfying. Listen, when things go boomy explodey, it makes me giggle. That's why I like Doom a lot too. I don't want to trade my tool. I like the multi-tool a lot.
I deserve that.
Oh, I can do the deagles. The Lawbringers are really freaking cool, though. But these are really cool. I'm gonna go. Oh god, the recoil goes up quite a bit. I'm gonna go deagles.
If you need something, better buy it now.
Alright, this one I gotta go all the way around, yeah.
That's all, team. Pod's closed.
Let's
I
see
can do
them
it from
handle
afar.
this turret.
Okay, where's this last one? Oh, there it is. I, of course, just hurt myself. Like a dummy. Get back up there.
Final piece to our grim puzzle. Just another exciting day here at Nightfall.
Oh, the zoom in with the single shot?
I rate that an 8.
So satisfying.
Sometimes you just have to seize the moment.
Oh, I did hit his. No, I thought I hit his. Oh, I did hit his tank. Oh, hello. Jesus.
That's it for now.
I almost missed him. Okay, the deagles are fun. And I kind of want to save. I'm gonna save a bit for that other secondary, or the other weapon. For the secondary weapon.
Set it and forget it. Who's ready to zip line?
Anything else I can activate while I'm here? That guy's up, that guy's up. It just closes the door. Okay. Let's do this.
Pod is closed for business.
Oh, hello, big guy. You.
Squished.
What are you? Woo!
Or
Oh, that's fire. Probably not go in there.
kill you the old-fashioned way if I have to. I need to reload.
Okay. I need to not jump down things. Okay.
One-click magic.
Yeah, I kind of want to wait and see what the boss is going to be. I'm just going to upgrade my armor.
Turrets up. Who needs armor?
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
The insects come up from the ground. Lather, rinse, repeat.
I hit nobody there. My turret's doing all the work. Not that I'm upset.
Is a big one. Who saw that? What? What's your deal?
Oh, he was stunned too.
You showed them.
Nice. And we don't have to pay for it either. Yeah, I actually like these. Oh, here's the dual deagles. These were the dual night adders. Also have the tungsten. I do want to save. Plus extended mag. Yeah.
Mine. Well, look who's here.
sounds so satisfying.
This may hurt a little bit. Hope that's only the first one. That is pretty graphic.
Let me heal myself a little bit.
That's gonna twist it for sure.
Guys, creeper. There you are.
Quiet it down.
There it is. Ah! I was trying to be too greedy.
Well, we have what we came for. Now bring them back to base.
It's all good. I shouldn't have gone for the deagles. Let's see if I can level up anything.
While I despise relying on our adversaries, Horzine possesses equipment far beyond Nightfall's own capabilities. Infiltrate the R&D Blue Laboratory and
Yeah, the
utilize it
gunslinger's
to analyze
really
these
fun, though.
infected samples.
Travel to R&D lab. Oh, we gotta. Okay, wait. I see. Check out my skills. Throwables. Direct message. When a grenade directly impacts a Zed, it deals 75% increased damage to that Zed. Ooh, the pull radius or the stronger pull. Now it detonates on impact. The initial pull deals 50 force damage to enemies hit. Or do I want to bring in more? I'm gonna go with that one. I am gonna upgrade that though too. Okay, let's go to the lab.
VTOL's ready for departure. Climb aboard.
Are we gonna do shaders again? Is that what's gonna happen? No, it's just fun so far. I could see this being quite addictive to me. I played a little bit of Killing Floor 2. Not as much as I wanted to, but I played a little bit of it. And the original. Cool. I'm liking the multi-tool better.
system analysis shows that the laboratory's analyzer is offline, due to the recent hurricane, no doubt. Locate the test chamber. There should be enough Z-scrap there to repair the machine.
Is there anything else around? Is there a turret around here?
That's the way. And we are done. Headshots for days.
Oh, hello.
Put it on the board.
Right. Let me figure it out. I appreciate it, but let me figure it out. It's my first time playing it.
All clear.
Yeah, I got the zip line. Oops. Let's see. No, you're good. You're good. We have hollow point. I'm gonna hold off.
Say bye-bye to the pod for now, guys.
Armor right here. You can go.
I hear a big dude. Hello.
Here it is, the test chamber, in all its glory. Scour the test chamber and the nearby halls. Perhaps there's some Z-code we can use to get the analyzer back online.
There we go.
Let's see them handle this turret.
Okay.
Pod's open.
Oh, that's cool. Refill. Don't want to upgrade these guys just yet. Reload speed goes up, fire rate. I'll go with the deagles again. I'm a glutton for punishment.
One more, and we should be in fine shape.
Let's see. Should be in here.
Got everything you need, team?
I hear somebody down there.
Grim.
How's she know?
Deal with it. Yep. Get well soon.
Gotta find that last limb. Hello.
Okay, I've heard enough. You are a shame to the profession, sir.
Not that thing. Oh.
By the way, love your look, super cute.
There you are. Okay, where's this last limb?
It's open. Time to load up.
Let's upgrade our armor. Okay. See if I can look around and find it. I keep forgetting my armor's right there too. Not the one that was down here.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Who needs armor?
Another armor locker. There's zip line.
Let's take a little zip line tour.
That's where we started.
Set it and forget it.
Get another chart up too.
It's closed, Nightfall. Let's move out.
It's over here. The music's really good.
Messy, messy.
Nice. That's a quarter of them.
Oh, hello. I hear big boy. I hear big boy.
He's very
Two of 'em.
muscular. Ever heard of a broom? They have those now.
Oh!
Hey,
Ouch!
reloading. Nice backpack, though. Who's next?
That's the whole way.
I gotta go find this last one. Oh, I should go, actually. These are really cool too. Okay, let me go back. See if I can find this. Keep stupidly buying my armor too. Okay, it should be around like this area. Oh, I don't think it was that
10
was down
seconds.
there. I found another one in a room up this way.
Did you all get what you needed?
Oh, why am I on this guy?
Play on my turf. Calm down.
Where's this other damn limb? Where are you?
Fight fire with fire.
Ouch.
Yeah. Don't even come at me with that shit.
Yeah. Okay, what are we not gonna do? Of course, Steve's calling right now.
Dead Zeds are my favorite kind of Zeds.
One second. Steve says hi.
Remember to pick up grenades. You never know.
Oh, they don't like. Okay. What has... Oh, the shotgun, of course. Okay, that and cryo.
Gosh,
We'll
make
go
it
with
almost
Snub-Nose.
too easy.
Oh, there it is. Guys, we found it.
That does it. Now, stand by for your next directive.
No more shopping, folks. Pod's closed.
What chimera?
All right, then. Now, proceed to the operating theater. Our broken power circuit and analyzer should be located there.
Ouch.
Creepy.
Ouch. Go up. Why now? Why now? I missed.
Messy.
Wait, heal up a little bit. Oh, what am I doing with this? I'm gonna order my armor.
Let the fun begin.
Oh, I'm gonna run out of bullets on this thing.
This place needs like heavy industrial.
Don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught. Oh, don't get caught. Heal up. And we're across again. Hello, babies. Is it almost foods times? Jeez. Leveled up. I did not get my mission done, but we leveled up. Okay, while the ad's going, well, once we load in, while the ad's going, I gotta go feed these babies and give little baby Randall her medicines. Actually, I'll return to the stronghold. Be right back. You guys hungry? Are you hungry? Yeah? He's such a cute little boy. All right, thank you. All right. Kitties are not happy. They're happy and fed. They're happy little babies. Okay. We're gonna go back to the R&D lab. But we're gonna check out our perks, right? Skills. We're almost level 6. I really want to increase that. Thanks, Grimmy. Thanks, Ree. All right, let's go back. God, they have hell on earth. That's ridiculous. Okay. I have so many new playing cards now. Going with that one. Okay.
VTOL's ready. Hey, while you're up there, why not take a quick moment to review your
Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. Definitely like having that better. Thank you guys again for hanging out and showing love today. I appreciate it, guys. I was so tired from this weekend.
Now, proceed to the operating theater. Our broken power circuit and analyzer should be located there.
Whoa, damn!
update? A quarter down.
Dude, the turret's just so nice. Not me shooting at the one inside of the cage.
Great progress. Who's ready to shop?
Okay, at least I can save up on that. Let's go with... I haven't seen these ones yet. We're gonna upgrade our armor already too. Okay, let me go down this way.
Looks like you've reached the operating theater. Now mend the circuit. And we have power. Place the infected tissue into the analyzer. Let's see just what we're contending with here.
It's funny that you're doing missions along with
That's concerning.
still doing all of this
Never
stuff
heard of
too.
Maya being a contagion risk. Now hold your position and await further orders.
Why walk when you can zipline?
Sorry, shoppers. The pod is closed.
Very good. Specialist, We're reading the presence of a device in the atrium. Perhaps it'll shed further light on the situation. You're there. Now, search the rubble.
Ouch.
Could be somewhere in all that concrete and rebar.
This is Dr. Pamela Medford. R&D Red's a researcher, and Meyer is a generalist parasitoid. It can infect living organisms, using them for rapid host-to-host dissemination. It must be eradicated, or else risk a potential mass extinction level event.
Mass extinction level event. Nightfall exists to prevent just such an occurrence. Return to base, specialist. Let's discuss our next steps.
Fire
I only
needs fire
found
every
that
time.
a second ago.
You gotta know that.
It's fine.
I'm gonna need to run this under cool water for 10 to 15 minutes.
I'm out of my multi-tool charges. Ouch.
Great effort.
Where'd he go?
Could we do this another time?
Okay, let's go up. Let's go buy some stuff.
Pod's open. Grab your gear.
Okay, it is up. Cool. Let's see. I don't think I'll need to completely refill just yet. I hadn't even looked at upgrading this guy. Upgrade armor.
Ooh, just got a little serotonin burst. Turret is on duty.
Get that guy up.
Closing time, shoppers. Pod's closed.
Bro, I missed all my shots. I didn't want to throw my granada. Jesus. Well, yeah, I would hit my. I'm not hitting my shots this round.
Gotta reload this. Oh, get over yourself.
Oh, he's up there. Ouch.
Such a chatterbox.
Nice. Oh, it's downstairs. Okay.
Go shopping, team. Shopping's fun, right?
Oh, that's the secondary. Okay. Just gonna fill up everything.
Buying in a desperate rush is the best way to shop.
And then... that turret's active.
I know someone out there needs armor.
Oh, hello.
Dead much? It's dodge. Well deserved. Just a second! Reloading! Can we just get this over with?
I'm glad I redid my my freaking reload speeds. Oh, hello. Ouch. Nice. You ever gonna use my secondary on this guy? Oh. Before I do that, I should come back downstairs. Still getting my bearings in here. Hi, Peanut. You get enough food? That way I don't accidentally buy armor again when I have it unlocked. Yeah, you get some food? It's now bath time. What you doing, Blue? You're not gonna buy a secondary just yet. We'll hold off.
Found armor. You're very tall.
Hello.
Still on top of my shit.
Oh, hello. Bye.
Yep, that's a flesh pound. Yeah, Did it have to be this dark?
Get a turret going too.
Turret's up. Hey, don't fight my gimmick. Woo! Does this count as ironic?
What up? Are you already done? I thought you were on a mission. How you doing, Elstar? Oh my gosh, you already took that out. That's crazy. You already took it out. Bitch.
Oh, in the money now.
How was your stream? How was the vision? You're good. I'm glad to hear that. Always glad to hear that. Any luck on the Diablo pass yet? What is oh, okay. I need to find something. It's incendiary. It's also gonna be ah, that's right. Is it just the special weapons? Oh, it might just be that. No, this one has stuff too. Okay. I like the, let's see, we need, we'll do this guy.
Whatever I need, thanks.
10 seconds, team.
Oh,
That's it.
that's on cooldown still.
Closed.
Oh, that's the new boss. This is the new guy, the Moorcroft. New endgame content tomorrow. Nice. This is the new boss they just released for this new season.
What is unconquerable?
I definitely do not want to be in small corridors with this guy. Oh, he's behind me, isn't he? Oh.
I am beyond your grasp. I told you, don't claim your inheritance.
Rock 'em out looking.
Probably was not the best time to do it, but I stunned him. Ouch, ouch, ouch. All right, have a good night, Nell. Thank you so much again for the raid. Sleep well, please. Turret, please. Turret, please.
Make way for your genetic
Meet the newest member of the team.
Money, please.
Deleted.
You think yourself mine?
Oh, he's almost dead. Where'd he go?
Answer me, my heirs!
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Ah! There he is!
You mocked the
That was a jump scare and a half.
Your weapons merely
Reloading now.
Ouch! 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 I'm outie. Oh, they coming. There they are.
reject.
Where are you going?
Way to go. Couldn't have pulled this off without
I got my smart pistol out. We got a lot of the dailies and weeklies done. Let us go back. Get another perk. I'm gonna snooze ads for a second.
Specialist, the pandemic at Hargis Army Depot has taken a grave turn.
Then welcome on in, guys.
Remains
You
have
guys
begun to
probably know me
surface.
from
We must
doing
return
some World of
immediately.
Warcraft, some WoW crafts with Nell during St. Jude Play Live time. Appreciate you bringing your community over. I hope you're sleeping well. We're playing a little bit of Killing Floor 3. My first time playing through this game. If you're wondering what other games we play, go ahead and check this out.
Oh my god! Oh, me! There's a grenade, Ree. Oh god, there's two of you! Really too excited. This is Piston. This is Meow. My cock's so beautiful. Come on, I'll save you, Nugget. Found my one fried chicken. Done.
Congrats. Yes. Let's go, boys.
Hell yeah! Woo! Hate technology!
I gotta do a new one. I gotta grab clips and do a new one. You clipped the fried chicken? Yeah. You also clipped that grenade when we were playing. We need to go back to Mass Effect at some point too. We need to go play some Mass Effect at some point. Welcome on in, guys. Yeah, I gotta update the trailer at some point. Ooh, set to stun. Fatal focus applies 50 stun affliction. Stun interrupts enemies, stopping them from moving or taking any damage. Reloader, activating the fatal focus reloads your previously held weapon and also grants 10% of that weapon's max ammo. Ooh. While I'm solo, I really needed healing. Stunning would probably be good. Need more SWTOR clips? Dude. That trailer's perfect though. I need to make some other ones too though. Yeah, I miss playing games with everybody, but you know. You can blame Steve. Travel to city streets or the army depot. Oh, city streets is our, this is cool. City streets is the, survival basics. That is true. Hello, Peanut. Is Daddy home yet? Ads are gonna play here in a little bit. I'm gonna go refill my water. being goofy. Meow. Rub face, rub face, rub face. Meow. Meow. Okay. Let me check out some assignments. We've done one of these. We did more of the weeklies at least.
Specialist, the pandemic at Hargis Army Depot has taken a grave turn. Heavily mutated remains have begun to surface. We must return immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Ads are now completed. I have this movie by. This is because how old I am with on this platform. Very old. Oh, that's cool. Very much. Let me change. It's him, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have some more playing cards. I am liking the gunslinger. I don't really need to. I would have to play multiplayer, I think, to heal. So that's okay. Oh, what the heck? Ew. Okay, that requires a season pass. Right? Okay.
Controls ready for departure. Climb aboard.
I have to level something on Starforge. I have some stuff on Starforge that isn't completely leveled though. When is 8.0 release? September. September is going to be a busy time for me, but I will definitely try. I'm going to be gone half of it.
Our priority now is to locate these infected corpses. Hopefully, we could stave off the contagion's further dispersal.
Oh.
One down, but I'm sure there is more.
Got the goods. Suit up. Just a quick reload, then I'm back in it.
I shouldn't even really be wasting my bullets, to be honest with you.
Oil, who wants to fast travel?
Oh, I I like how I went up here away from my turret.
Pod's open. Time to load up.
Ew. Oh, there's another one.
I advise you not to inhale too deeply. One never knows.
You need to run dungeons? Steve just got home, but Liz is coming over.
This task is unfortunate but necessary.
Dang, this one's all the way down here.
Grab a syringe, okay?
They explode on death. Let's gonna upgrade this now. Yeah. She's gonna come over for a cigar.
Hope you're done shopping.
I hope you're done shopping. Oh, hello. Oh, that's right.
Time to reload. Turret's up.
Ew, look at this guy. Ew.
Progress report. 25% of enemies are down.
Ah, where's this guy?
Right at the end. Half the enemies
Ah!
Big, loud bastard.
Worth. Let me reload these guys. It's all the way over here. Yeah, I don't know what time, but I would assume soon. Hollow point rounds. If they're getting all they're getting all explodey, that's not gonna do anything. A bayonet.
20 B&A's blues and a case of numbers, Gov.
Oh, there's ammo in here. I still need to go and find more of those bodies to burn. I love it when they just stand right in front of your shotgun.
Well played.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Status update. 25% of deaths eliminated.
Oh, I did not get armor.
Wave update. We're halfway there.
I bought the shotgun.
Knob end!
At least get more ammo.
Hush your beak!
Tinnitus. Ugh. Siren specialist. Oh.
Pods open. Happy shopping, everyone.
I need to find more of those guys to burn. I need 2 more. 1 more.
Very good. 1 more should prevent further proliferation.
See if I can find that last one. It's got to be somewhere over here. This is like one of the only spots I haven't gotten yet.
Got the turret online.
Aha!
Army here, fresh from the lockup.
Exceptional work, Specialist. You're a true bulwark against this infection. Now, stand by for further orders.
Yes, ma'am.
Pods closed, Nightfall. Let's
Well
move.
then, shall we continue? The shipping containers here might help us discover the outbreak's origins. Enter the main depot building and search the interior for active shipping containers. Okay, you've reached the interior. Some containers are still active. Find and scan them. Let's see what we find out.
Ooh, that guy scared the crap out of me.
Seems this shipment was rerouted through Carmichael, Washington on its way here.
Oh no. I even knew they had that too.
Patrick Hendry appears to have authorized this transferal.
She's a right. Oh, shut your goal.
Oh, I missed. Hello. That thing is ridiculous looking. Okay. We have one more thing to scan. Let's go level up some stuff. Hello. Hello. Andy, she's giving me dirty looks. She's in chat. She's in chat.
That's a bit of all right. Mr. Turret, welcome to the party.
She hasn't said anything yet. She's probably running dungeons right now. She's busy. Huh? Stop being busy and notice me.
Piss off, you Nick. Oh, look who's come out to play.
You've got the magic touch.
Thank fuck that toss is gone. Bugger off.
Is it in here? Oh, hello.
Fuck off, Humpty Dumpty. Twit.
That was ridiculous.
How we doing? We all happy little bunnies?
Oh, fire? Okay. So I can swap these guys out. I deserve the dirty looks? I don't think so. I don't think so. Will I have enough bullets? So I gotta find this last thing to scan.
You're in fast track now, lads.
Did you all get what you needed?
Oh, it's the queen crawler again. The queen.
Nice one.
Hello.
Oh, how I love tunnels. Just feeling a little icky boo here. You don't want to slip here, you'll end up in a chair for life.
Excuse me. Okay, I really need to find this last one that I need to scan. Here.
Well, that's enough for now. We'll have to dig further into this Captain Hendry and his deviation from standard military procedure. Clear the remaining waves, the way to orders.
And we got the mission done last second. It's cool that the secondary actually heals. Ew. We gotta go back to Stronghold. Okay. Oh, did we not already do that? Okay. We must have missed something then. We're not quite level 8. I still like this a lot. No, I like the stun. I do like having the stun. I go back to the Army Depot.
Okay,
See what they want.
toward the gentle in a nice and orderly
See what they want.
fashion. We do not.
Dun 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 dun. Okay, sorry. I am really liking the multi-tool. Wouldn't mind messing around with some of the other ones. Well, the turrets in single player have been really helping.
Clear the remaining waves and await orders.
I didn't mean to throw that, but here we are. Now we're down one.
Activated. Enjoy the fireworks. Fuck face.
Yeah.
Got the goods. Suit up.
I don't know what it means by clear the remaining waves. Is it because I did this too soon? I'll go with these guys refill everything.
Hurry in the game, mates. Armor for the lot of us.
Oh, hello.
Lura.
I can get those. You don't get those.
Oh, that's a laugh. Fucking yobber.
Oh, he's up there. Come down. Don't shoot.
Didn't no one tell you not to play with fire?
Easy. Okay, bye. Grab this. We don't have to pay for it. The deagles are very satisfying.
Handy.
I'm just gonna max that out now. Don't have to worry about it for a little bit.
Mr. Turret, welcome to the party.
Okay, we got that one. Let's go. They got my back there. Big boy. There we go. The grenade is so satisfying too.
Who's up for a little shopping spree?
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save money. That one's on cooldown, but we have another turret here.
Army here.
Armor
Fresh
down
from the
there.
locker.
Turret.
Let's get this party started.
What else is there? There's this turret too.
Turret's up.
Comes a big boy. Man, that's the guy I was waiting for.
Just like a squad, with a chainsaw to a shootout. Sit flat.
Oh, he's right there.
Not such a tough cookie now, are ya?
Smack him.
Cool, we battered the fuck out of him.
Just give him a little smack. Okay.
They're low on grenades. Thankfully, Contact has plenty available for purchase.
I'm gonna wait and see. What the boss is gonna be before I grab another one. I'm gonna grab this turret as well. I forgot.
Don't worry, the turret's on our side. Looks like a good place to get a thoracic spine injury.
Get off me. Come down here. Oh, he's on cooldown. Yeah, I really don't like these things. Take that.
Back in business in just a sec.
There we go. Now it's gonna be boss time. Okay, fire and toxic.
Top drawer.
Okie dokie. This is the one I used last time.
Pod's closed. Back to the mission.
The Queen Koala again.
Hope you don't have an aversion to the creepy crawlies. It seems we now have a queen crawler infestation to manage. Queen's reign ends today.
Oh, hello.
Terminate her without haste.
Ouch. Excuse me. Oh, I missed. Oh, she just... No. Dude, the auto shotty on this is ridiculous.
Could have a promising future in pest control. Make your way back to base, Specialist. Time for nightfall to regroup and strategize.
Level 8? Yeah, that was not a very good round for me. At least it didn't feel good.
The infected Z shipment took an unexpected detour through Carmichael Radar Annex. Now it's up to you to find out why.
Ooh. Opening salvo. First 3 shots of a pistol deals 15% increased weapon damage, resets on reload. Head count, headshot increases damage by 3%, max 5 stacks, 1 stack decays every 2 seconds, or stopping power. Stumble and knockdown power increased by 25%. Body and limb shots deal 10% increased damage. I'll do that one. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna go head out and be social for a little bit. Thanks for hanging out and stuffs. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go. That's a baby boy. That's a big boy. Look at these big old pizzas and this big old boy. Who is just a sweet little boy. These little teepers. And these little Pete's. And these little Pete's. These little beanies. These little beanies. Such a good little boy. Yeah, I'm gonna head out and be social for a little bit. Thank you guys for hanging out. Chris, thank you again for all the love today. Miss Burning Kerosene, thank you so much for the gifted sub as well. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for the follows and the ridiculous point redemptions today. Yeah, Killing Floor 2 if you guys are interested. Use that link that's pinned. Chris, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it very much. I'm gonna find somebody else to go ahead and forward you guys to raid. Let me see who's on right now. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I work tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday as usual. Friday we're having the spawn respawns over for a barbecue. So I might be on in the morning, I'm not sure, but we will be around. Oh, look who's streaming. Is he doing zombies? He might be. He's playing some Call of Duty. Black Ops. Go say hi to Cypher. And I will see you guys later. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I'll see you guys probably Thursday or Friday morning. Thursday evening or Friday morning. I'll let you guys know. Have a good night. Bye.